Hello everyone and welcome to Life Begins at 20. My name is Mark and today we have episode 11 of MTG Cubed. In this episode we're going to be talking about the land cards I have in my cube and why I've picked them. So again, if you have any suggestions for me at all, do put them in the comment section below, as I found all of your suggestions really helpful for me in previous episodes, and we're just making this cube even better, and I can't thank you enough for that. If you enjoyed the video, do hit that thumbs up button, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. So let's just get stuck into the cards. So moving on to the lands here, we're going to start off with, we've got a full set of pain lands. I've just recently finished these off. It just means that all of the aggressive style players there have got some mana fixing for themselves as well. Paying 1 life to be able to get either of the colours of mana. I mean, there's some of the old artwork there as well, which I do quite like. So that is why they're in there, to suit the aggressive style players. And next up, again, as a recent addition to my cube, I just thankfully got hold of a set, are the Scry lands here. So again, they're going to be quite useful for the player. They come in, put a land down, and being able to see what the next cards are going to be is going to be quite nice, and they're really nice to have there. So you can make sure you've got a decent card coming next. Next up, I mean, that looks really nice there. I've got a full set of bounce lands as well. So again, you're not really gaining any mana for having these, but you are going to make sure you've got yourself a land drop on your next turn as well. So they're quite nice to have. Next up, we've got half a set here of the reveal lands, I guess is what you can call them. So they enter the battlefield tapped unless you reveal either a land that they're after, so Swamp or Island, for example. So I've got these 5 in here, mainly down to the fact that, again, it may suit an aggressive style player as long as they have got one of the lands they're asking for, and it also means the normal player is going to end up, for any other kind of deck, it's going to be quite useful to have as well. So they're quite versatile to have. The next is the other half of that previous set, because I haven't got the full set of those reveal lands. These ones are quite nice to have, again, for more aggressive style players. Enter the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or fewer other lands. So if you've got this in your opening hand, you're going to be able to get your mana fixing straight away, which is nice to have. And the last set of tap for multiple colours are each of the 3 colour lands there from the Tarkir set. I mean, to be perfectly honest, I'm not 100% sure that they're completely necessarily. There may well be a case of down in the line when I've got a little bit more money, maybe I'll pick up either some fetch lands or dual lands or something along those lines, which may end up suiting me better for my cube than this. But this is all I could afford at the moment in time, and it just means that you've got a little bit more versatility on the colours that you'll be able to put into your deck from the cube as well. And to be perfectly honest, whenever I'm playing these anywhere and looking for the cards, I'm basically looking for my 2 colour combination within the card that is on here. Yep, you may well have a single card that might well be useful if you want to splash for it, but to be perfectly honest, I'm basically looking, whenever I have these, for the 2 colour combination that's on the card. Okay, now moving on to the more utility style lands that are just the singles of. So Mana Confluence here, you can tap it, pay 1 life, add 1 mana of any colour to your mana pool. Again, great for fixing, great for aggressive players that need a certain mana colour, so that's really nice to have there. Next we've got Exotic Orchard, so tap it to add 1 mana to your mana pool of any colour of land that your opponent could produce. So again, they may be playing a similar colour to you, else it's just going to be 1 colour. One colour land for you. Shimmering Grottoes next, so you can tap it for a colourless mana there, or you can pay 1 to add 1 mana of any colour to your mana pool. Again, similar to the pain lands there, good for mana fixing if needs be. Aether Hub is one of my favourite cards from Kaladesh. Really do like this. When it enters the battlefield, you get an energy counter, so you can either have it to be a colourless mana, which is more than good enough if you've got a good enough fixing, or you can pay that energy counter that you get to have 1 mana of any colour to your mana pool. As a one-off, that's still fairly useful to have for fixing if needs be, if this is going to be the first card you come out and you need a specific colour, or later on again if you need the specific colour, it's going to be quite useful to have. I really do like that. Next we've got Temple of the False God. So you can tap it for 2 mana, activate this as if you control 5 or more lands. So again, it's a great land to have for extra ramp there. So that's why that's in there. Mage Ring Network is next, so you can tap it to add 1 to your mana pool. You can play 1 and tap it to put a storage counter on it, and then you can tap it to remove X storage counters from it to add X to your mana pool. So it's something quite nice if you've got extra mana that you're not using. You can build this up, build this up, build this up, build this up, and then have you can just tap, remove everything, and really put on spend a lot of mana on a lot of stuff here. Next we've got Evolving Wilds and Terramorphic Expanse in here, just as little helpers to be able to go and find your specific colours that you're after. Next up we've got Ash Barrens. I really do like this card from Commander. It's just a really nice card to have. Tap it to add a colourless mana to your mana pool. So again, it's a generic land, that's not an issue. Or you can pay 1, discard this card, search your library for a basic land card, reveal it and put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. Yes, you're paying 1, but to be perfectly honest, I'm more than happy to pay 1 and get rid of this to go and find a card that I need for mana fixing. I have no issues in doing that, and that's why I've got this as a really nice card to have. Next up we've got Gaia Reach Sanitarium. So again, you're tapping it for a colourless mana, quite useful if you're going to have any of the Eldrazi or anything along those lines that are in the cube. Or you can pay 2, tap it, each player draws a card and discards a card. So that may be quite nice in the sense if your opponent's got nothing left in their hand, or you just want to get through your deck. It does help them out a little bit, but it may also hinder them if they haven't got anything in their hand. They're going to have to discard the card they automatically get straight away unless they can use it. Next we've got Inventors Fair. So at the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 3 or more artifacts, gain a life. Again, it's not necessarily going to be that difficult to be able to achieve that. Tap it for a colourless mana, or you can pay 4, tap it, sacrifice it, search your library for an artifact card, reveal it, put it into your hand. And then you can only activate this ability if you control 3 or more artifacts. So on top of being a decent enough land, way of getting yourself life if you've got any artifacts, it's an artifact tutor as well on top, and I think that's really nice to have in a land. Next up we've got Rogue's Passage. I mean, it's just a nice land here to have excess mana to give something unblockable, and I do like that for utility. Next up we've got Dread Statuary. So you can add it to have 1 generic mana to your mana pool, or you can pay 4 and it becomes a 4/2 golem artifact creature until the end of turn. It's still a land, so it's the artifact or the colourless equivalent of man lands. They're probably something I probably need to add into my cube for sure, probably in a case of the tricolour lands. Once I've got enough money to get hold of that, I will certainly end up doing something along those lines. Next we've got Hamweir Battlements, and this was my promo card from the Eldritch Moon pre-release I did. You can tap it for a colourless mana. This probably should end up being in red if I'm going to have this in there, but it is splashable. So for 1 red mana, tap it, target creature gains haste to the end of turn, so that's really nice to have. 3 and 2 red, tap it. If you own both, control, you can flip it over and turn it into the 7/4. But to be perfectly honest, the likelihood of you getting both areas of this card, with the fact that my cube is 720 cards, is very, very, very unlikely. That side of the card isn't really going to be there for being used. It's really there for tapping for the colourless mana and paying the 1 red to give something haste. And it just looks really nice as well. And last of all, the last land that I have is Westvale Abbey. I mean, this thing is a beast. So you can tap it for a colourless mana, pay 5, tap it, pay 1 life to put a 1/1 white and black cleric creature token on the battlefield. To be perfectly honest, the likelihood of you doing that is highly unlikely. The main reason we've got it in there is a nice finisher, especially for token style decks. Pay 5, tap it, sacrifice 5 creatures, and then transform it into Ormondal, which is just a nice 9/7 flying lifelink indestructible haste creature. I mean, that could potentially end up winning you the game or making a huge swing. So I'm more than happy to see that. It's just a really, really nice card to have, and I do like silly little things like that within lands. So those are all the land cards that I have within my cube. Like I said before, There may well be a fair few improvements that could be in there. Some of the reasons that I haven't got some of the major sets of lands and dual lands is because of just expense. I'd love to be able to get a full set of fetch lands or dual lands or something along those lines. If you have any suggestions of slightly cheaper ones that I haven't already got in my cube, do let me know in the comments section below. I'm really interested to see that. And also for the 15 kind of utility lands, I could potentially call them anyway, where they do something that aren't part of a set. Again, do let me know in the comments section below which ones I've missed out that may well be a big improvement. I'm trying to trade for City of Brass from my friend at the moment, so that one is put aside. But if you have any other suggestions, do let me know in the comments section below, because it's been really helpful. As always, if you enjoyed the video, hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for new content every Tuesday and Friday. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.